So what can we do to try to help people learn what their activation level is and how they can change it? Well, the first thing is trying to help develop this self-awareness of people's arousal. We need to help them understand, well, how stressed out are they? And sometimes that can help by doing some self-monitoring, using some physiological measures. So you can whack on a heart rate monitor and just kind of identify, well, how stressed am I really? And the more helpful way, because it does allow you to be more flexible and use it in other situations, is just helping someone tap into their emotions. How are you feeling, and being aware of that? Noticing when your heart rate goes up or your hands start to sweat, or you when they get those butterflies in your stomach. Or noticing when you're feeling tired, when your attention's wandering, you're finding it difficult to focus. So this self-awareness is the first step, because unless you know what level of arousal you're at, you don't know whether to raise it or lower it. So awareness of your own physiological states can actually help you control them. If you whack your finger into a heart rate monitor, it actually makes it easier for you to lift it up or down. And it's an interesting kind of phenomenon that just monitoring your own awareness can allow you to change it. Once you're aware of your optimal level of arousal and you're aware of your current level of arousal, you can start to employ the right strategies to try to move your arousal up or down. But the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter how much arousal or anxiety or activation you have. What is more important is how well you can cope with the anxiety. So the butterflies in the stomach aren't so much of a problem. It is totally normal to have butterflies as an athlete, particularly under big game pressure, but even just any time when there's a selection thing or a testing thing, it's normal to feel anxious. The issue isn't the anxiety. It's not a case of trying to get rid of the butterflies. It's a question of trying to get them to fly in formation. How can you use your butterflies to kind of be effective, okay? And so compared to non-athletes, athletes actually perceive their anxiety to be more helpful than normal non-athletes. And that's because anxiety can be facilitative, and it's not necessarily about trying to get rid of it all of the time, but it's about trying to perform well with anxiety, to have those butterflies flying in formation. Having said that, there are times when you can get overwhelmed by stress and anxiety, and that's where things like decreasing arousal strategies can be helpful. So if you want to learn how to relax, there are a few ways that we can go about it. They can be usually classified into two different strategies. There's the muscle to mind strategies, which is where you, by relaxing your muscles, that translates into a relaxation of the mind. So if you've got somatic anxiety, you've got muscle tension, then by learning to relax that, your mind can relax. The alternative is to learn to relax your mind, to become calmer in here, and then that can translate to relaxation in your muscles. So progressive muscle relaxation is one of those muscle to mind strategies. That's where you grab your fist and relax it, you grab your whole arm and relax it, and you go throughout your whole body, going from tension to relaxation. So it's called progressive muscle relaxation because you progress throughout the body and compare that tension to that feeling of relaxation. Deep abdominal breathing is where you usually just focus your attention on your belly button and focus on that as you breathe. Focus on pulling your belly button out as you breathe in, really slowing your breathing and sucking your belly button in as you breathe out, okay? So it's really about trying to deeply breathe using your core. Mind to muscle strategies include things like visualization. So some people find that by imagining, their happy place from Happy Gilmore. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Don't think it's PG, so I didn't put it in the video. But it's about trying to imagine a situation that might make you happy and relaxed. If you right now think of yourself lying on a beach, basking in the sun, just having a nice cold drink there with you, with a beautiful view over the ocean, sometimes people find that gives them just a moment of relaxation. And that's sometimes all you need. So this visualization, which we'll talk about more in detail in a few weeks, is about trying to you relax your mind through positive images, basically. And the last one, which is considered quite effective as a way of relaxing your mind, is meditation. And it's controversial about whether this is a relaxation technique or not. People will disagree. But for the purpose of this video, it is considered one of the strong relaxation techniques, which is really about just bringing your attention to the present moment. So that might be noticing the sounds that are around, or noticing your breath, noticing your the breath coming in and out. And you can see there's an overlap between deep abdominal breathing and meditation, but the idea, according to Williams, is that by just focusing on the present moment, it allows you to let go of negative thoughts, and these guys say that that does help us to relax. So the matching hypothesis is that the anxiety management technique should match the problem. If your mind is going too quickly, then meditation might be helpful. If you're feeling really stressed and anxious and you're breathing too quickly, then deep abdominal breathing may be more helpful. Okay. So some of the research does suggest that the science matches these predictions. Okay. So cognitive anxiety should be treated with mental relaxation. Somatic anxiety should be treated with physical relaxation. But the issue is that there's some crossover effect here. Okay. That if you do relax your mind, it will kind of relax your muscles and vice versa. And we saw how close deep abdominal breathing can be to meditation. So something like that is probably going to work in both situations. And the same kind of matching hypothesis applies to social support. And that's where if someone is really stressed and worried, you might provide them with information that might help calm their worries, okay? But if someone is really stressed physically, their body's really tense, then ideally we might kind of help them relax a little bit, okay? And so I guess the idea here is trying to identify whether we're talking about a cognitive type of anxiety, which is up here, or a somatic type of anxiety, which is kind of everywhere else. And then using our social support to target that in the right way. So learning how to tell someone just to chill, okay? We usually do it in a bit more compassionate way than this cat, but I think the idea is to try to target the intervention at the type of stress or anxiety or arousal that is affecting someone. So to give you a demonstration of centered breathing and thought stopping, a few of the strategies that we have talked about and that we will continue to talk about, I'll pop this video up, which is Dr. Missy Wright, who's a sports psychologist, and helping a tennis player learn how to use some of these strategies.